Boy, as soon as the music was getting good, you know what I'm saying? The 30 seconds was up. You know what I'm saying? I like how Jokes picked a little like the Eclipse joint, right after daylight savings, like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, he playing that.
We, we a little more fearful at night with this. What it do, Snacker, Snack S, and Snack X? Is this your boy Gage? I'm here with Jokes and with Sin. And you are now tuned in to a new episode of Spoiler Boys.
Spoiler Boys.
Check this out. We about to spoil all of the love out of The Last of Us. Not the game, but yes, the game and the show.
Yeah.
Because they're almost tit for tat.
Mm-hmm.
Almost tit for tat. So I want to thank everybody who's here for joining us. Anybody who jumps in as the time goes, we have a whole lot of countdown. So, normally we don't do Spoiler Boys live, but considering that on this occasion we are discussing the entire season of The Last of Us and not doing what we traditionally do, which is, we would do it episode by episode like we're currently doing for The Mandalorian, season 3. We figured this one we'll do live. Let's get it out in front of the people, give you all the opportunity to kind of chime in. Hopefully you all have been watching and have had an opportunity to watch everything. Gentlemen, before we start digging into anything
that's not good. Hold on.
Yeah, got to move that.
Let's fix that because that is not going to work. Hold on. You go over,
just
over there.
that.
There we go.
Hey, good job. Hey,
dude,
that is hey. It's just hey. Yeah. So before we start digging too far into the individual, bits of information, episode by episode, and characters and all that kind of stuff, I just want to get an overall feel from you. Again, because we're not doing this episode by episode, I would like to get a judgment as a whole. Just kind of where you feel. And this is not, I'm not asking just like, hey, shoot me a number or give me a letter grade or whatever. Ready for that conversation today. We ready for you Tuesday. But I we're gonna dig into it being an adaptation from a game. We're gonna talk about the story and the characters, but I want to get a feel for where you all sit with this as a season. As a season as a whole. Jokes, what are your feelings on the show?
Absolutely amazing. As something being adapted from a video game, I'm gonna have to say The Last of Us, I think did it damn near perfectly. I thoroughly enjoyed it from the beginning to the end. Suspenseful moments, some emotional moments. They hit about everything I think you could have within the show. There could have. I don't have any complaints. I think they handled this. I think they handled it very well. Like I can't give it any negative.
Can't think of anything you would change, anything you would want to see done better or different or whatever. You're all in.
I think the length of the episodes was a good plus, so it wasn't like they had to force things into certain places. Pacing was on point. As we know, there were time jumps between certain episodes. I didn't feel like that was a force type of thing. I think it worked.
Okay,
I'm good with this season.
Sin, where are you at?
I thoroughly enjoyed it all the way through, more than I probably thought I would, because of course it's a video game adaptation, so already kind of worried going into it. But after seeing the first episode, I'm like, okay, I'm feeling what you're doing here. But after just coming off watching the finale, yeah, I think they knocked it out of the park with it. Adapting the game into live action, kind of knowing what to take out of it and what to leave in to make it make sense for television and all that kind of stuff. I think they did that really well. But I agree with Jokes. Like, I don't think there's anything I would necessarily change about it. I liked the actors in it. I didn't think I was gonna like Pascal and what's her name?
Bella.
Yeah, Bella when they first got announced. But as always, I just relax, see how it goes when it comes out, and off rip, I loved both of them and their adaptations. I'm like, yeah, they're buying this. So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I agree, man. I think, look, I'm probably gonna make some people upset briefly, but just I mean, what else is new? But
par for the course.
But here's the thing, man. I'm one of the people who never really felt like this game was a great game.
Mm.
I felt like this game was a great story, like an incredible story. And I felt like this was a story that was something that changed the way storytelling could be done in video games.
Mm-hmm.
But I was never like sold on the idea of like the game mechanics, so to speak, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do think that comparatively speaking, like as a game, when you're playing the game, those are the moments of tension and anxiety. It's the playing it that is anxiety inducing. What I feel like they did so successfully with this was adapt the tension, the anxiety that comes along with something like this. I was not ever concerned, I don't think, about their ability about this story. I think the story is already brilliant.
Agreed.
How you adapt it, a game that can take 20 hours into something that's like 9 or 10 hours. It's the tension, right? But more importantly, I think they nailed the characters, who they are, how they feel, and the severity of every single individual like emotion. Every single individual situation. I just think that the way that it's shot, I agree with you. I think the pacing and the timing, the length of the episodes, where they stop the episodes to hold you till the next episode, I just think it's very brilliantly done. And I want to say that there's no doubt in my mind that a large portion of why it worked as well as it did is because at least the co-writer of the game, Neil Druckmann, was so heavily involved in this show and its production, and because the other people who were working on it, and I don't mean like the actors had necessarily played the game, but like the other people in charge were fans of the game, knew the game and understood it. Here's the other thing I think they did that is brilliant. Every episode, almost every episode, had a behind the scenes at the end of every episode that allowed them to sit down and tell you, here's why we made this change. Here's why this piece. Man got Wayne Tech.
Welcome back.
Well, hey, damn.
You're now Gage.
No.
That breakdown, I think at the end of every episode, explaining to people why they made changes to certain characters, why they made slight adjustments to the story, how things differed from the game, but also brilliance, making sure that they consistently said this was a game first. We did this and we made this different from the game. So people just kept hearing game, Sony, PlayStation. Hey, there's a reason why sales of this game, which is 12 years old or something like that at this point.
I feel like it's more than that almost.
It is. It's got to be because it's PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
So it's older than that, right? 15 years old, maybe.
Maybe in the ballpark.
Jumped like 340% by the time the second episode aired.
Yeah.
Right.
Heck,
And
I went back to playing it. Picked up my last save. Yeah, just to let me go ahead and run this while I'm playing it.
I didn't want to go back to the game. I just wanted to enjoy it, like because I hadn't played the game in so long. I remember certain things, but I didn't want to go back play the game and then try to. I'm good about separating the two, but with your internal feeling, you kind of want to wait. That wasn't initially what happened in the game, but I just like you said, Gage. I'm happy they said this was a game first. And I think those after the credits and talking about why we changed and why we did certain things and hearing it, I'm like, okay, totally dig that. Makes sense.
Yeah. I think it was handled.
Matter of fact, speaking of Doctor Who, do I have to be familiar with the game to watch this?
No,
absolutely not.
No,
absolutely not.
Not at all. As a matter of fact,
I think
it's my recommendation that you watch this before you play the game. I actually think this is better than the game. I really do. I think it's better than the game. Again, that's just because for me, when everybody else like, oh my God, this game is great, it's a 10. I was one of the people who was like, I mean, the story's a 10. The game is like 8, maybe a 7.
Yes. Yes, BP.
Yeah, I'd highly recommend just watching this and watching it all the way through. And since you haven't, I appreciate you being here, but we about to spoil
living hell out of this thing.
It's about to go down. So let's talk about the characters. Let's talk about Joel. Let's talk about Ellie. Let's talk about meeting these characters, kind of where they are. Let's talk about where we are when this all starts. Outbreak Day. I'm gonna tell you what, man. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. It is the opening of this game that sold me on the game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Nothing else is as high of a high point for me as that, because it is watching and understanding this journey and what happens between Ellie and Joel based on those moments in the early part of the game. And what's so different from the game and the way that it's structured in the first episode is you are given much more time with Joel and his daughter.
Yeah.
To really gain an understanding of how they are, what that relationship is like. You don't get that when you play the game.
Not at all.
So when it comes down to it, and he loses his daughter the way that he does, it hits way harder.
And I think one of the reasons why it hits so hard is because they show most of that episode through her eyes.
Correct.
Because Joe kind of plays the background role for right now, and they just give it to her and let her run with it.
It's her.
And that was
you're following her around.
Yeah.
You're seeing what her relationship is to her dad. Right? She's buying him a gift with his own
money.
Stealing his money from him, buying him a gift. But you also see that she's not just buying him a gift. She's taking care of him. She's waking him up for work in the morning. She's making sure they have breakfast. He needs to buy the stuff so they can have breakfast.
Yep.
She's making sure that he eats. She's clocking what time he should and shouldn't be done. She's the one like, hey, it's your birthday. Like, you got to get a cake.
Get a cake.
You know what I mean? Like, we have to, we have to have cake. Like, you can see that relationship between the two of them is, she really is taking care of him, in a lot of ways. And he relies on her, for that. And she enjoys that piece of their relationship. So when Uncle Jimmy and they all know what's going on. When Uncle Jimmy shows up, he's like, I thought we was having
pancakes. Like,
she's like, talk to your man. I thought we was having pancakes too. So you get small glimpses, right, of what's going on. And we did skip I think one of the most important pieces, which is the very beginning
The
of
opening of the show and then explaining.
Uh,
I love that.
yeah, that was the mushrooms and all that kind of stuff. That's like
it.
parasitic and
Fungus.
everything. Yeah, fungus. Yeah.
The fungi.
Either way, stay away from it all.
Not
Yeah,
necessarily
like
stay
just
away
that.
from it all, but just explaining, if fungi adapted the way as weather changes, the temperature rises, like humans will adapt, but this fungi, if it adapted the same way that we would to certain things, like there's no stopping it. Like
We can do.
in the
No, we can do, and it ends like that. That being a television episode that they're airing, and they're kind of showing like a behind the scenes shot of this interview that's happening, and the fact that it just ends real somber. And my man is like, he's like, so what if that happens? And he's like, well, nah, son, we all dead. And he's just like,
the co-person that was up there with him was just kind of stuck. The host
Yeah.
of the show was stuck. Like,
I guess we'll just go to commercial.
Yeah.
But I think it's super important to like highlight how real it is.
mhm.
Right? That cordyceps is a real thing. That it really happens. That it does exist. It does exactly what they're talking about it doing to ants, like currently.
Mhm.
I was really not gonna watch this show at all, but man, that opening scene actually grabbed me and got me hooked. Yeah, because it's so smart. Like it is taking what the concept of the game is and really trying to say, like, these aren't really zombies.
Right.
They are, but there's a reason, right?
Yeah,
and
I
it's
like
a
that.
scientific reason that actually makes sense, and they give you a real world case scenario of how it could actually happen. And for it to be happening right now, as like global warming is what it is, and so
Mhm.
forth, and them
Mhm.
saying, like, yeah, we know that the fungus can't live over like 96 degrees. However, you know what I mean? So the just giving you that much information, making it scientific, and giving you a reason to actually fear what's happening and see a certain level of reality. As a person who's like not super big on horror films, I'm cool with like, the idea of like ghosts, poltergeist, demons, and figments, right? Your
Mhm.
Freddys, your Jasons, your like, I get all of that. But all of that does require a very different kind of suspension of disbelief. And this basically takes the concept of outbreak or the fact that we literally just came through a pandemic
Mhm.
and says, here's a pandemic.
Yeah.
Right? And puts it on there. And I think it makes it much more believable. There's a possibility that this show doesn't hit anywhere near as well as it does, even as well as they adapted it to the show, if we literally hadn't just come through COVID-19.
Possibly.
There's a high possibility
Z's
that it
right
doesn't
in.
hit anywhere near. Yeah. Again, real world time of the show. Again, this game is old.
Yeah.
It's an old game. So they handled it really well. The idea of following Joel's biological daughter around for a day, right? Getting little pieces of banter between them when he kind of like sets her up to go hang out at the old lady's house next door.
Oh, set her all of it. Take all the time you need.
Yeah, just those like small kind of tidbits of just kind of getting that idea of their relationship and the fact that like the mom's not around, so really it's just them and maybe uncle,
Right.
when the time is right. Then in a lot of ways she's 14 and kind of on her own, riding a bus, going back and forth, kind of dealing because he's off working late shifts, regardless of the fact that it's his birthday or whatever. So as the outbreak kind of starts to happen, and they very, very slowly begin to give you glimpses of it. Like that moment when she's in the living room,
The grandmother
asking about the DVD, and the grandmother is behind her in the wheelchair, doing what Jokes just did with her mouth open. I'm gonna be real, young. That joint made my back. Like I was like, ugh.
And it was
It's
just
so nasty.
The placement of that
And nothing
joke.
happened. Nothing happened. But it begins to really build that very strange kind of attention that like you get that little antsiness. Like
unfortunately, we already know what's coming, so it's like
exactly.
Yeah.
But and look, and here's the thing: we know what's coming. I'm very interested, to know what people who had no idea, technically, what's coming, what they thought of it.
Mm-hmm.
They did change the way that like the virus moved from person to person. The little nasty sprout
little big sprouts.
mouth and like grab it. That is so nasty, dog. It's so nasty, bruh. It gives you like for real. That's what a joint like this should do. It should give you the actual willies, bruh. Like I don't know how else to like explain it.
Yeah,
I think that's it right there.
When she's home by herself, her father finally comes home. He's late again. It's his own birthday.
Mm-hmm.
He forgot the cake. She gives him a hard time. She gives him his gift to himself, right? But again, she specifically says, because I knew you weren't going to
do it,
fix it. You were not going to get around to it if I didn't do it, right? She's taking care of him. And that watch becomes significant for another couple of episodes anyway, right? We kind of lose sight of it, I think, as it goes on, but it is significant in the early stages of the show. His brother getting into a fight, getting locked up and being like, nah, Slim, you got to come get me. Like, I felt him. He was like, yo,
hey, if you don't get me tonight,
Friday, dog, if you don't come get me, I'm going to be in this joint till Monday. Which I'm going to keep it a buck.
He might have
been the safest place for him.
Locked up behind bars. Until they all got in there and then you're just in the box.
But even hearing him again say, like, man, I don't know, this dude, it wasn't my fault. This dude, he just was like tripping and he was like going at this girl and he wouldn't stop. So I hit him, you know what I mean? Or whatever. And like, you already know.
Yeah, like
you know
it's
what I'm
happening.
saying? What it is.
It's happening.
So he sneaks out. It was already happening. Like when she went to get the watch fixed and like the ambulances and stuff are running by and the lady's like, nah, Slim, you got to get out.
You
need to go home.
Here's the watch.
He's like, no, he's like, man, it's like 4:00. We open until like 7. She like,
no,
not today. Not today,
shut
Satan.
this shit down.
We are closed. And it's kind of like she knew something. That's kind of like, why she ain't say something?
Yeah, like
she just sent this little girl out into the
right
street
by herself.
You want to go home? You need to go home.
Here, Slim, take your watch, get lost. Like, figure it out.
She didn't look money. I don't even think she didn't care. She just like, nope, just get out.
Yeah. So yeah, when he goes to get, what's going down. He goes to get Tommy. He don't come back. Something ain't right. She wakes up.
Calling out for him.
Just like the game. Like it's like shot for shot. Almost. Wandering out of the bedroom with the TV on. The noise and stuff in the background. This time you got the neighbor. The dog is tripping. She's like,
I'm not going over there.
That dog's smart.
I'm out, bro.
Dog was smart.
Very smart.
She telling him, let me take you back over here.
That dog was like, let me tell you something. I know some tricks. I'm going to get up out this collar.
Quickly.
Slid right out of this joint.
Exit stage left.
She went in the house anyway. Let me tell you something, Sin. I know my child is watching this, dog. I know I taught you better than that. I don't know what Joel was doing.
Oh, dog. Door was open, like all like every possible sign that could have been thrown out there.
Perfect signs. The dog is like, I'm not going to that house.
Let me tell you something.
The door swinging wide open. That's all.
It was
I
like
needed.
2 a.m. It was like 2 a.m. It was some like early in the morning.
It was what we call an ungodly hour. Jokes. And, you know, she goes through the saloon doors. Exactly. No reason. She goes through what we would call the saloon doors and almost roller skates on blood.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going no further.
Reverse.
Exactly. G-Ma, listen, she looked to the side in this joint. My man was like gasping, bleeding, and literally was like pointing like, hey, Slim, get this game. She went around the corner and grandma, first of all, grandma was out her chair. That's the first. That's
no, the first happened before that. Like, she should have been gone and not in that situation.
Hey, G-Ma had skates, bro.
She was moving.
Shorty. And I'm gonna tell you what. If Joe hadn't rolled up in that truck,
she wasn't
getting away.
Hey, the game would have been totally this show would have been total deviation if he wouldn't have rolled up.
Yeah, no.
My man came through though.
He knew it was going down, so
he put Shorty's head. Ooh. And his daughter was like, "You killed her." Yeah, Slim. Yeah. Get in the truck. Get in the truck.
Let's go.
Get in the
Bring
truck.
Your ass.
Don't you question that. That was one of those
in the
moments.
joint and go to bus and U-turn. Neighbors come out like, "Hey, Joe." Nah, dog. Run Slim over. Hit them all, dog. Hey, dog. Like the all right, we gotta get away. Let's run. All right. City's blocked off. They can't get out. And I'm gonna tell you now, we're not gonna dwell this heavy on every episode. We can't. We don't have that kind of time. But I think that this first episode is so important. It's setting up what the rest of the show is. They get in an accident. A plane crashes. This is different from the game.
Yeah, that joke was.
Plane crashes behind them. A tire flies off the plane, hits the wall, hits the truck, flips the truck over. So when they come to, she like her ankle, leg, whatever, it's a wrap. She can't walk. They get separated from Tommy. He's got to carry her, and people are already done turned. They walk around the corner, and there's people over there having feasts.
Oh yeah,
grandma feast.
Yeah.
My man has to make a break for it, and let me tell you, that joint is slipping and sliding. Coming through the restaurant, pots and pans flying.
Hey, I give them clickers credit because they got some.
You just want that ability, like you. In fact, but I just want your speed and like no tolerance for pain.
These are the type of zombies. Like, no, I can't do y'all. Y'all way too fast.
Exactly.
Relax.
Exactly. Not happening, bro.
No chill.
None, and aggressive with it too.
So aggressive.
Yeah.
So aggressive. Yeah, man. So, he gets out. Joint gets shot. He gets stopped by the military man. Military man's like, I got two of them. I got a guy and a girl. And man's like, hold on, my man tries to take a step. So I'm like, ain't nobody tell you to take no steps.
You ain't sick.
I'm sitting there just like this, like, oh, here we go. Here we go.
And you already know, dog.
Yep.
Got that order.
And my man got the order. He and like, that hesitation in his voice of like, Say what?
Mhm.
You want me to do what? Hey, bust them, dog. They might got that thing, bro. Like,
The fact. It's probably exactly how they said over the radio too.
yeah,
Like,
man, you gotta let them have it. My man was like, I mean, all right. Joe's like, nah. He bust off. Sort of missed, sort of didn't. You know what I mean? Tommy shows up, make quick work of Slim when he's about to finish Joel off, saves Joel.
It's too late.
Joel is
Though.
over, and it's too late, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She just the fear in her eyes, the fear in his eyes. Like they sold that moment. Like
yeah.
oh, that
it's gut wrenching. It's
just like in the game.
Oh yeah,
mm-hmm.
for sure. There's no two ways about it. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Marcus. How far are you? Because
I was about to ask you how
you
far.
couldn't score the whole thing. Yeah, man. It really does an incredibly good job of setting the tone, and then we jump 20 years.
20 years.
And, you know, and my man is on Sewage Detail, and things are very, very different. You know, we don't really get to see. We talk about it eventually, but we don't really get to see Tommy's violent past.
Right, not for a while, but
they got a rep.
Yeah,
they got a rep, and they earned it.
Facts. when we get to that part,
that's all I can say. Yeah. So look, I think that first episode really does quite perfectly set the tone. You know, we meet Ellie, and she's chained up, and it's like, well, what is this? And she's just foul-mouthed teenage.
Loved it.
Me too, for real. Just her attitude.
Yeah.
The way she counts every day. Like, just like, you know.
Her bad puns that she likes telling.
Hey, ain't lie.
I mean, that's good in the game.
Yeah, she got some chuckles out of me.
It grew on me after a while. I was kind of like Joel at first, like, all right, Ellie, come on now. Then after a while, she just keeps doing them, so we just started to laugh at her.
The thing is, right, that like, I think Bella Ramsey does such a brilliant job of being who Ellie is, and you only really getting glimpses of the fact that she's a kid in those moments, like the moments where she is experiencing pure joy, when she truly gets excited, like in the arcade.
Oh yes,
when she truly get like just and like they do this really great job again of like just, you know, when they're walking and they go past the plane that crashed, she's like, oh man, you been in one of them? And it's like you really don't think about the fact there's a person who's born
during
after all of this
is happening.
That there are so many things that like you would take for granted, or we take for granted, or that Joel has taken for granted in not really dealing with somebody who doesn't know the difference in what it's like to live before any of this happened. Right? So as a child, all she knows is the war. All she knows is the QZ. And whatever Fedra, you know, has shown them or taught them. But those, like, she does such a good job of embodying a person who really has like never seen a plane before. You know what I mean? And he's like, you know, it's not so, you know, it's all right. There's turbulence or whatever. She was like, whatever, dude, you was flying. Like you was in the air, you know?
He's gonna show those people.
Yeah. He was like, well, they were too, you know, whatever. Like it just, he's still so, you know what I mean? At that point,
he's pretty much like just still dead to the world after what happened.
What did you think about I mean, again, it's not different from the game, but the way that Ellie ends up in Joel's care.
Which is a handoff.
I mean, pretty much almost par for the game. You know what I'm saying? So I expected it.
You know what it was.
Yeah, how it was how they were portraying it. But no, I didn't have a problem with the handoff.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And I think it made sense because I forget her name that was shot.
Marlene?
You know, Marlene. You know, she was like, "Hey, listen, I'm bleeding out over here." So that
decision real quick, like
this needs to happen right now because like I'm about to die over here. We don't make this decision right now. So I thought that was still on pace with how things were moving. So it needed to be quickly in that moment because otherwise she was about to collapse on that floor and then there'd been a whole probably another scenario at that point. So I thought
her homie was like, fine. "Nah, don't give her to them. Let me do it." She's like, "You ain't got no damn ear. You ain't got no ear, Slim." She was like, "I mean, you right. I mean, you right." Not that I looked in the mirror in the last couple minutes, but I
like the reluctance in Joel to just not want to have to deal with it, not want to have to worry about carrying the kid around because of what he's been through and everything. But okay, we need the parts for this Jeep. So
you said you didn't like that?
No, I did.
Okay.
You know, so him just showing that kind of early on, you getting that vibe, like, yeah, he's not past his daughter yet. And last thing he wants to do is march around some little girl to some place. But we need the parts, so let's do it.
I mean, that wasn't even his decision for real. That was Tess. It was just like, "Hey, bro, we gotta get this battery.
Mm-hmm.
You try and get the Tommy. We gotta get this battery. We got to take the girl." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
She promised him, like, "Yeah, they gonna give you everything you need when they get there. I give you my word." Right there, it's just like, "Hey, come on, Slim, you're clearly untrustworthy."
Mm-hmm.
Marlene is clearly untrustworthy. You know, I think it's cool to see stuff like that come full circle because the actress that played Marlene auditioned for that part in the game. Then didn't get it, but ends up playing the part
in that live action. Yeah, that's dope.
I like that.
Kind of dope. Yeah. You know, that was one of those things they talked about in the behind the scenes things they did after each episode. Which I thought was really cool.
Gotta check those out.
The early banter between Joel and Tess and Ellie, like when they're that first night, after they find out that like she's infected, but like she's immune, right? Which we know from playing the game, but you know, I'm sure a lot of people who were watching it had no idea. Like,
right?
Oh, okay. Like her joint turned red, and Joel snapped.
Hey, talk about he flashed back. It was about to put her down.
Like, and here's the thing. Ellie's face in that moment, pure joy. She was watching him beat that man to death. And she's like the most excited she's been since she left the mall, bruh. Like, and again, that kind of like trying to get an understanding of who she is, where she is in life, what matters and doesn't matter to her. It's like you're dealing with a person who's never had anybody fight for them like that. Nobody care about them that way, right? Like we never meet or find out who her father is. You know, it's just her mother that we meet.
Which I really did like that. Cool. Yeah, I thought that was dope. Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, they you know, her mother was played by the same person who voiced her in the game. Played by Ashley Johnson. So
thought that was perfect.
She kind of is the mother of Ellie in a way.
Not to mention they actually resemble one another.
I was about to say that. I thought that was dope too. Like
they actually resemble one another.
Passes that. Yeah. Like, okay.
Yeah, I think they did a good job of like, because I don't think if you really stand them side by side, they look like each other. But like in the moments that they showed, like when they start and you see her from behind, like kind of running, but pregnant, it kind of looks like Ellie, but with longer hair, like, you know, from behind. Like it's just really well done. I like that they hit the DLC, the Left Behind DLC, kind of like middle of the season.
Yeah, I didn't play it, the DLC. But when I got to the episode, I was like, okay, this must be the Left Behind DLC. So I just left it as just.
I mean, the episode is called Left Behind.
Left Behind.
Yeah. So.
We're gonna throw a little
yeah,
DLC
I mean,
in here for you guys.
Seeing that that kind of a strange bond build even that early, where for the first time she has seen somebody like defend her, like protect her, really look out for her. You know, you have to imagine the only other person who maybe ever did that was her friend that got left behind.
Yeah.
Right? Because in that episode, it's you don't fight, your friend fights. Yeah. Now your friend ain't here. Right? So clearly she had somebody that would look out for her or would defend her.
Great episode.
Oh, man. What episode isn't?
Yo, every single one of
big facts. Big facts, but yeah.
Let's talk about episode 3.
No, that was just that was a great episode. That's all.
By all means, man, expound on that noise you just made.
Not like
you made a noise.
Not like because I didn't see it when it first aired. I caught it probably like later that week or something like that. No, I caught it like I think 2 weeks after because I watched like 3 of them together on Saturday morning. I was like, okay, this episode everybody's talking about, everybody's hyping up, saying it's so great. Like, okay, let's see if it's great as everybody is. And I'm watching it, and I wish I was playing it when we went through this. I wish I was playing the game at the time I was watching this, just so I could see like the differences. But meeting Bill and him, you know, having his bunker with all the guns and he's hiding underneath, and they're coming around checking the neighborhood to see if anybody's living there. They leave. He locks that place so down with booby traps and everything. Like, I like this guy right here. Oh, he's smart.
Yeah, it's the biggest deviation from the game that they make, and it's probably the best episode of the entire season.
I love Bill and Frank. I love that the whole setup. You know, obviously some random dude shows up. You know, your first instinct is listen. This is not a hotel. I get you out this hole. Get your ass.
I was feeling Bill the whole time, and it was beginning stages like, bruh, leave and just but can I like? I mean, can I get something to eat? I'm starving. I'm like, hey, dude, get off our property.
Yeah, but the crazy part. What I really love was, you know, Bill was that person that was kind of in the world mode already. Like he was in that mindset, you know, if things were to go south, what is it that I would do? And like he was already prepared to a certain extent. But then once he waited it out and waited for everyone, kind of slept through it a little bit. But once everybody left out of the town and he realized it was always like, oh, let me go out here and get all these resources that I need to hunker down in this house and make this thing its own little base of operations going on here.
From a man had power, cameras, such a strong episode, and also such a palate cleanser for the season too. Like it just felt completely different perspective, and it was a very different perspective. And again, it happens very differently than it does from the game, but it's perfect. It's so perfect for the show because in the game, when you meet Bill, it's just Bill.
Yeah, and that was not a fun time. Bill was crazy.
What? Yeah. It's very different, and again, I just think it's way better. It's way better.
It is.
And, you know, shout out to the Doomsday Preppers. You know, because my man comes off as very burly and very, you know, all that kind of stuff and all the guns and all, you know. But I know my man Garden better be right.
Oh, what?
You know what I mean? Landscaping better be right. Everything is clean. Everything is dusted. My man got the fresh piano. My man was in that joint like, you tickle the ivories? I can tickle some ivories.
Bill was looking so frustrated, like, bro, stop trying to stay. Just get out.
It was working. You know, initially he was like, it was working. My man was like, nope. You got to go.
I mean, but come on, dog. My man's like, hey, dog, you got hot water?
Look, I understood. I understood. Cuz hey, like this is a place to set up shop. Hey, look, what do I got to do to stay here?
He answered that question.
Uh-huh.
He answered that question.
Yes.
Let me tell you what. You better plant some strawberries, buddy. You better plant some strawberries and plant some strawberries. And I'm gonna tell you what. That scene is probably my favorite scene of that entire episode. Is when he has the fresh strawberries.
Strawberry for the first time, and who knows?
And then my man's like, nah, not on the strawberries.
Berries?
Not on the strawberries, not on the fresh jokes. But like as they get older and he gets sick and he's forced to continue to take care of him. You know, you just watching him go through it, and it's like, like there's no doctors, there's no like, it just kind of, he's just like, look, man, I can't do this anymore. So just give me my day. Let me have it. Marry me, make me dinner. You know what I mean? And give me these pills, bro.
It was crazy to see how when they got attacked in the middle of the night and Bill goes out there handling business, that he gets hit. And then Frank is trying to get him on the table, bring him back or whatever, and it fades out. Then it comes back in. It switched. Now
it's basically the other way around. Exactly.
Like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's man, that episode is so good.
It's so good.
It's good TV right there. It's really good TV.
Leaving a note for what's the name of that? Leaving a note for Joel at the end. That was.
That Joel was hard.
Don't open the door. Yeah, we left the window open, so don't nobody smell nothing. And when she was reading, she got to the part about Tess.
Oof.
Oof.
My man Joe was like, shut your mouth.
Give it here.
The whole case hole.
It was still funny too as she was reading. As Bill knew that eventually the person that was going to end up finding the note was going to be Joel. So that was hilarious. Like, to whoever finds this note, it's probably you, Joel.
Right.
Right.
The fact that there was still some humor in it, you know what I mean? That they had that, but like left in the car, they was able to get some food. You know what I mean?
Weapons,
like, go down in the bunker, get what you need. And she is just like, I mean, come on, he got a wall full of guns with no gun?
No,
dog.
I can only imagine if he didn't have to worry about getting Ellie to the Fireflies for everything to go down. Like that was literally the perfect hunker down. Like, we're gonna be fine if we stay here.
Yeah, if we're going back and forth, trade with him and everything, he knows that the setup, he knows how it all runs and works.
Only thing would have been is I don't know if Joel would have had it in him for like all those booby traps and things just in case. Bill had that junk down packed, so that'd have probably been his only weakness, maybe. But Joel would just probably went out there to handle business regardless.
He'd have been all right. Yeah, Joel clearly is no joke. As defined by the final episode.
What?
One man army.
This man's fast.
Oh, that's a
perk. Let me tell you something,
that's
dog.
A perk in Call of Duty.
Look at his eyes, dog. The look at his face. I was like, dog, he's in straight killer mode right now.
Let me tell you something. I know we jumping a little bit, but let me tell you something. When the country came out of my man mouth, when he said, "You bring it to me right now," Woo! Everybody gonna die. It's going down. Everybody gonna die. And she knew in that moment. I feel like she knew everybody was gonna die. Like,
escort him out of here. No, lock him up right here. Don't give him a second.
Dog,
take him to the highway and give him his pack.
You should have put a bullet in his head right then and there, because you know by reputation already what this dude is capable of and what he will do.
Son, what did she literally just say to him? Of all the people in this world to owe a favor to, you the last one.
Yep.
You about to find out why.
What? Give me Ellie back.
To find out why. So, like, here's the thing, right? again, like the show has such great development of the relationship between Ellie and Joel, how cold it is and how it begins to change, and you just slowly see it over time, and you slowly see him start to break down and like kind of let her in, right? And
starts to laugh at her jokes,
the recognition of her being like, when she starts telling him jokes and he's trying to like steal gas out of the car,
siphon the gas and shit.
And he's like, "Hey, Slim, you could just go wait somewhere else." You know what I mean?
When they're sleeping in the forest in the middle of the night and she's telling jokes, he's not trying to laugh and trying to
not
keep
at
a straight
all,
face.
but he like cracking his little smile or whatever. All right, so that's what I want. There are a couple things I want to touch on because again, like, you know, we could do this for a couple of hours. We're not going to, right?
Right.
All right, we have to talk about Sam. We have to talk about them. And, you know, meeting this deaf child. Again, that's not how it is in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really dope, though.
Fun fact, when I picked the game back up to start playing, so I'm going to go ahead and finish the game while I'm watching this. This is where I started at. I just happened to start at the right episode, and this is the part of the game where I left off at, meeting with Sam and his brother and all that kind of stuff. So I went through the game first and got past that part before I watched the episode. Mm-hmm. So when I was playing that scene in the game and everything goes down the way it does, I'm like, oh! And then I'm watching the show and I'm like, okay, how y'all gonna translate this into the show?
Only time you cried the entire season. Hey, listen, I'm proud of you too. That joint was tough. And
it'd have been tough for me if I didn't play the game and I knew it was coming, obviously. But
yeah, I mean, I knew it was coming, but like, like to have them make it, like to make it out, to get to where you're going. It's just that constant push and pull. Every time they accomplish something, there's a setback, you know, that just is like, nah, this world is not giving you anything. You know what I mean? And he was just such a cool, cute, fun-loving little dude. And for like them to have that moment where they got to that break where they could play and they're playing soccer and you know, writing back and forth with him, and like they're just, you know, they're building this bond. And man, Shorty who was looking for them was head hunting, bro.
Oh, what?
Hey, dog. I was yelling at my screen as much as I already knew for this dude Joel to just pop one in between her eyes. Like, just put her down now.
Hey, dog, I wanted her to die so bad. I was so ready.
I was so pleasantly happy.
Ready for it.
Also, one of my favorite parts happened during this chunk of segment that we're talking about.
What part is that?
It's not a major story movement thing, but it was just from remembering a small aspect of the game. But when he did pick off the one dude that was driving the truck, and the truck crashed into the house, like initially you don't think too much of it, you know, cars in the house, Jones done, dude's dead. But then when the car starts to sink into the ground, I didn't remember the game at this point. So as the car was sinking into the ground, I was like, okay, we about to have a couple guys pop up here and kind of make things a little difficult. Dog, the army of these dudes running full speed out of this hole in the ground, like I was like, oh,
it's real out here.
Big boy came up too and started tossing.
Big boy came up, swinging that thing, bro. Yeah.
That was one of my favorite moments. Like,
yo, when my man asked her,
go, run,
about being like, you know, when you turn into a monster, like, and she's like, nah, like, you know, and then she kind of has a moment where she panics. And then she tells him, like, nah, but, you know, I'm immune. And that's one of the things that she's been dealing with, right? Is the idea that she's immune, and what role does she really play? And what is her role in the world, right? Like, is there a greater purpose, right? For all of what she's been dealing with, for all of what she's had to see, to live through. That moment was an attempted moment at justification, and knowing that like can you imagine how different things would have been if it had worked, right? If she willingly put herself through the pain, cut herself till she bled, like, no, my blood is medicine, right? Put it on him and promised to stay up with him. And it's like, again, as having played the game, you already know what it is.
Yeah.
But even then, it was like, well, they've changed some stuff. So maybe, just maybe they
this will
won't.
be one
Like, you know, they not like, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
you're hoping, but
you're hoping, even though you know, right? It's not, right? Because you fall in love with him. He's so cute, right? And he's deaf, and he's been so hungry, and he just been dealing with it, like just dealing with it.
As soon as they clicked the next morning, and so Joel and homie out there, I was like, oh, here we go. His brother sold that moment too.
The fact that she fell asleep. What sold the moment?
When his brother had to.
Oh, his brother?
Yeah.
That was
definitely. He deserved a nomination for that. Like, they just
Henry.
When he turned around, bro.
Lamar Johnson played him.
And just snapped on her. There was like a double panic. It was like it didn't work. So maybe I'm not a cure, right? Maybe I'm not what they say I am. Yeah. Maybe the hope that I've been carrying with myself
is just me.
It isn't it's not what, you know, again, you're a kid, right? And you've seen what she's seen. You know, we now, you know, at this point, we know what, you don't know it in the story then, but you know what she's been through as far as like the Left Behind thing and what happened with her and her best friend. So you then have to imagine her beginning to wonder whether or not like her destiny is just to be like the only person who can survive it, right? And it's like, clearly, like, again, they talk about things like, yeah, she might be able to survive getting bit, but she can't survive being torn to shreds. You know what I mean?
Right.
Ripped apart, or, you know, bludgeoned to death or whatever. So she can still die. You know what I mean? Like, you still have to, of
course,
consider those things. But it could make you feel so lonely, even in the midst of being with other people, when you are who she is, and she doesn't, you know, and she's like, all right, so I don't really know what all of this means then. Like, it didn't work, right? And maybe it was too far behind, or it took too long. Maybe if she had cut him higher up or something, it could have, you know, who knows, right?
Right.
But it just was so devastating, right? For her and for Joel, you know, and for them to have to go out there and bury the bodies was just like, it was, you know, just a special sign, I think, of respect for what had happened and what they went through, because, you know, a large part of me makes me feel like under, you know, different circumstances, they would have just left the bodies. Like, they would have just left them. Like,
and,
you know,
but, you know, they teamed up, came through something together, almost made it out. It was just was the right thing to do.
It just was. It was. That was interesting. That was tough. That was a tough episode. I really liked that episode though. All right, so look. Fast forward, all of the stuff that happens, right? Like, her and Joel actually beginning to bond. Her saving Joel, that happened in that episode, right? Where she snuck the gun and had to go in and shoot
and body dude.
I mean, she didn't
kill him. Yeah, she shot him. You know, he was still alive. Joel put him down.
Joel finished the job.
Go get in that hole in the wall. Get him in the wall.
Hey, dog, the minute he said that,
sure, ass in that hole.
She knew what was about to happen. Like, ooh.
Don't you come out.
So let me tell you how. Because I think, again, and this is like word for word out of the game, him having the conversation with Tommy about being too old. Like, bro, I froze. Like, I couldn't do anything, right? This dude was like half my age, and normally I would have bodied him and everybody out that thing. You know, like he would have done what he did at the end of the show. You know what I'm saying? Like under normal circumstances, he was like, dog, I can't do this. Like I can't take
another great scene from him. Like he to break down, like just sit with his brother, just finally like let that out. Like, dog, I can't do this.
Cry and just say, dog, I'm old, bro. My shoes, my feet, I hurt.
You see him duct tape his boots and all that stuff. Mm-hmm.
He's like, I can't do this. I can't be what she needs. Like, you got to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to do it. And being mad, like, I feel like he was mad at Tommy for wanting to stay and for having a good reason to stay.
Yeah.
Not in her, but in the baby that was coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he needed Tommy. I can't do this without you. That's why I'm mad at you. Because I really need you to understand what's going on. Like, dog, she's immune, bro. I seen it.
I've witnessed this.
Nothing happens, bro. Like, it's just, and him saying, like, when we got rolled up on and them dogs went to go sniff her, he's like, normally, I'd have bodied everybody out this joint. You know? There was a lot of online controversy about that scene and him directly speaking his character motivation. I personally think it was one of the best things. It is.
Yeah.
It is. I think the importance of him, the thing about him speaking his character motivations in that moment is, you know, it's that we know what his motivations are, but we don't know what he's feeling. All of that is new information for us.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen it happen to him. We can kind of see that he's starting to have these little panic attacks, grabbing his heart, like kind of just things like, you know, the world just kind of seeming like it's closing in on him. But you just think like he's old and maybe he's about to have a heart attack or something else. You don't really realize that it's him like having a panic attack because he can't.
All that stuff is weighing on him now. All that stuff is all coming full circle. It's weighing on him so much now. So being able to let that out to his brother like that,
I think that helped out.
Yeah. So I don't think he would have let it out to anybody else. If just
promised it to Tess.
That too.
I promised it to Tess.
That too.
I owe it to this girl. And I need you. And you can't do it. And I'm wrong for asking you to because I know what is at stake for you. Right? So you're talking about, you got to examine it from all angles. You're talking about a man who lost his daughter, right? Due to this whole thing, who is now stuck with a little girl who's the same age as his daughter was when he lost her. Who isn't like his daughter, but reminds him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of his daughter. And now he has to ask his brother to risk not coming home to his daughter. And if for some reason Tommy doesn't make it,
that's on him
again. It's going to be his fault.
Yeah, it's going to be on him. Yep.
Right? It's going to be on him. And you don't know it in that moment, but by the end of the show, you know this is a man who wanted to take his own life 2 days after he lost his daughter. You know what I mean? So all of that is weighing, right? And he had lost Tommy. He had Tess. He lost Tess. He's trying to find Tommy. He's only really doing what he's doing with Ellie so that he can get to Tommy. They get to Tommy on the way to where he's supposed to be going to take Ellie. Which means that, like, what he's supposed to get for taking Ellie, which is a battery so that he can get to Tommy, he don't need that battery no more.
Nah.
But he promised Tess because Tess believes that she is the cure and this child can save humanity. And so now I have to get her there because it could mean saving the entire world. So we got to get her there, and I can't do it. I have to be able to do it, and I can't do it. And when he shows up, when she says to him, everybody who I ever loved or cared about left me or died, period. Everybody except you. Again, that's word for word out of the game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When he shows up at the horse and he's like, you deserve to choose, to be able to choose. She don't even blink.
Not even a
Get on
second.
the horse. Get on the horse. F you, Tommy. Get on the horse. You know what I'm saying?
No, I chose you, Joel. Let's ride this thing out.
I choose.
Yeah, let's ride this out.
You.
I choose you.
Is it Elliot's Pokemon?
Something. So yeah, I mean, look, him getting hurt. Hey, listen, I think the giraffe scene is incredible.
Yeah.
I was hoping they do that in the game. I was like, or not through the game, threw it into the show. When I saw
had
that part, I was like,
Some of the
I don't
parts
know.
about
Once
the
she
game,
took off,
yeah.
started running up, I was like, oh yeah, we
The giraffes.
Me too. But again, Bella Ramsey, Slim, she's so drab, so defeated, so lost through the beginning of that episode. Everything he says to her, she's not really listening. She's not really paying attention. He even tries to like, all right, go ahead, let me get some puns. You know what I mean? Eventually he gets to that point, right?
Like, let's do this.
He's trying to lift her spirits. He knows after what they've been through. You know, shout out to Troy Baker being, you know, in that episode before that, considering he's the voice of Joel in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to him.
Yeah,
that last episode had one of probably my favorite scene in the entire series. In that episode right before it, just when he is going to get her back and she's fighting for her life. When he finally kidnaps up to her and calls her baby girl, I was like,
yeah,
okay,
that's it.
That was it.
Yep.
That's the
That's it, boy.
in that country.
Yep.
Baby girl.
I'm like, she just chopped Slim all the way up.
Was
I was waiting for that point. After playing that the game, I was like, let's go.
Listen,
let's
when
go.
she paused for a second, like she was about to stop to just kind of walk off, and then she just went right back, making sure the job was done. I was like,
he was chop suey.
Oh, he was mincemeat. Yeah, he was his own.
Got what he deserved.
Facts.
Yeah. So again, giraffe scene was dope. The pure joy that shows up on her face in that moment is so special, right?
Agreed.
And it just is that reminder of like how bleak things are, how important things like she's never been to a zoo. She's never had an opportunity to see anything like that, right? And like, let alone experience something, you know, close up like that. And him being able to kind of take control of that moment and be like, nah, it's cool. Come here, let me show you. And just like feed the giraffe. And she's like, for real? Like, what? Like, nah, where's it going? And she just takes off running again. You know, my man, he like, hey, Slim.
Slow
You know what I mean?
down.
Steps? You know what I mean? Steps. She ain't even like the fact that she just like didn't even get the ladder down to my man for real. Just like dropped it, and he's panicking, like, what's going on? Just really good, man. And then you know they get there, they doing the puns, they get attacked, and next thing you know is Marlene in the hospital, and you know that whole scene. Yeah, you bring her to me right now.
That was
so country. And I was waiting.
I was like, any second now. Any second.
Started escorting my man out the building.
I said, well, as they was going past people, I was like, he ain't gonna make it.
He ain't gonna make it.
He ain't gonna be in Rush Hour 3. He ain't gonna make it like Hey Slim. There's a moment in that joint after he takes that gun and starts to run up. He reloads, turns and fires one shot. And hits Slim in the low midsection, and that my man did a whole baseball jump. Like, it's incredible, dog. And I said, oh yeah, my man's coming through this thing like a Jedi, bruh.
No, he was straight pretty much one-shotting. Like the look in his face, it was I'm back in that mode right now. Like I'm stone faced. I'm straight killer.
Got down to the pistol.
What?
Hey, he was going. He went from just the rifle joint to one of like the automatic joint, but he was tapping the automatic joint. Like he wasn't even letting that joint. He was just popping the shots out of that joint.
When he got the automatic, I was like, "Oh, y'all will put that at the end of the last on the final episode because you don't get that gun to the end of the daggone game."
Yeah, it's clean. Slim. He was letting them have it.
Hey, Doc caught it so smooth.
Dog.
Dog caught it so smooth.
Dog, I don't know what this dude thought he was going to do when he picked up that scalpel and was like,
pick the scalpel.
I'm not going to let you do it.
Her.
Blow. Hey, take that out of it right now. Let's go. Hey,
okay. You win. You got it.
Bandage that up. Let's go. It's like,
that
was not playing.
I said, oh.
Doc thought he was going to save the day. Like, sorry, Doc.
I was telling Zayna, right, that when that part happens in the game, they don't give you a choice. You have to shoot the doctor.
Yeah.
Like, if you try not to shoot the doctor,
you shoot.
They just restart the joint from you walking in that door.
Oh, I did not try to shoot the doctor. I blew his brains out.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Let's go.
But it's like, nah, like, you can shoot him in the foot. Mm-hmm. You can actually look it up. There's footage, like, all over YouTube of people, like, trying to avoid shooting the doctor to just see if you could just, like, nah, you're gonna shoot Slim. You don't have a choice. So let's so he busts the doctor, gets her. When he gets in the elevator, I said, dog, he's so thorough. This man, for me, bro, listen to me. I would have gotten the elevator and immediately put her on the floor. Put her on the floor behind me. So when them elevator doors
opened up, just in case, you can go ahead and bust.
I'm in there. My man already knew. I killed everybody in this joint, but Marlene and them nurses.
This room is clear.
She can come get this static if she wanted.
Oh God!
And she came and she didn't want it.
Oh no!
I mean, she had the gun on him because real talk, he had his back to her. She could have just popped him
straight up
and took Ellie. She dumb.
Yeah.
She dumb. She let him turn around.
You know his reputation, and you just lived it. You just lived it.
She's already lived it too. She already knew. She been known. She said that joint the very first time you see the two of them in the same scene together. All right, dog. Look, if it's anybody, like as a matter of fact, dog, she said it when he woke up in the hospital.
Yeah.
She's like, "Hey, dog, I had a whole squad with me. We was coming and I still almost died like 5 times. I lost 5 men. We blah blah blah.
You out here by yourself.
You came through this
with the girl.
With her.
Yeah.
She knew, dog. Like they established the threat level. This dude is code red, code orange,
right?
Mountain Dew, dog.
Def Calm, whatever. Yeah.
Slim is it.
And you back
he's a threat. Like even in the first episodes, when that dude double crossed Tess, and she was like, "Listen, they have Tess strapped to a chair, whooping her ass, bruh." And when he realizes she's the one they got, she's tied to a chair. My man is like, "Hey, dog, I don't want no trouble. Please don't. Please. Oh, my God. Please don't tell Joel. Please don't tell him." She's like, "That's cool. I'm not going to tell him."
I'm not going to tell him.
And the first thing she did.
Hey, you ain't coming in that house looking like that and not going to tell him what just went down.
No, that switch got flipped immediately. Like, he didn't see it initially. And then once he saw it.
Yep.
Oh,
hey, dog, my man.
Somebody about to die.
He was about to rain on all them and Fedra. Hey, matter of fact, dog, just the way he would like handle certain stuff, like he's standing there watching while she talking to dude about the battery, and the dude comes up and, "Hey, friend, have you seen a light?" "Hey, dog, if you say something about the fireflies, I'm gonna slap you out, you dog." Like,
hey, reminisce of Mando and what's his name when he was sitting back with the power.
Oh, sitting there chilling. Is there a problem?
Yeah.
Me and Pedro leaning on
the same energy both ways.
Yep.
What? Hey, dog, I'm talking Narcos threat level, dog. Like Pedro Pascal Narcos threat level. He just bust Marlene and then just told her. She said, wait.
Let me go with you.
Nah, not let me go with you. Just let me go. Nah, dog, you just
Nah,
gonna
you gonna just come on
Wop,
back.
wop.
Damn.
And went right to the black screen. I was like,
you might as well be the doctor, dog.
Yep.
No, sir.
see,
No,
that's
sir.
how you fit. That's what you do. That's how you finish something out.
Yeah, dog. From now on, that's how you drive. So let's get to the thick of it. Because the thing that has been the biggest issue for the entire game's life and now for the show is, did Joel make the right decision? So let's have it out. Right? Because Joel did what I think most fathers would do.
100%.
I can't ask you, was it selfish? Clearly,
yeah,
it was selfish. Did he do the right thing?
I absolutely think he did. Because, I mean, unfortunately, as much as, she's immune, there's still no proof that what they were going to do to extract and create said cure was going to do. Like, theoretically, when they explained it, okay, yeah, it sounds like it would probably work, but there's still no guarantee that it would actually work. And I'm sure, just like you said, is what a father would do. Like, you're not, if hadn't it been just some other random person, had no relationship with or anything, he'd have been like, take him, probably. But not at this point. His daughter. I mean, we could say it's no. I think he did the absolute right thing.
I don't know if he did the right thing. I respect what he did, and I would have surely done the same thing. But I agree with you, Joe. You don't know whether this so-called cure is going to work. Is it not? Who are the doctors that have been studying this to show proof that, saying this is going to work? Like, the world has gone to shit pretty much at this point. You know what I mean? So where are you getting this information from, that this is how it's, all that kind of stuff? If you can't show me something to back it up, it's still, and all that, even if you do, it still comes down to killing her to get it done. So I'm with Joe. I'm definitely with Joe, but I don't know if he made the right call, because we don't know.
Zaina's team Ellie. And I guess the fallout is, the thought is that what she would have wanted to do,
right,
was to live her purpose. Like, her belief that her purpose was to save humanity, and she's not able to do that. So when she asks him at the end, like, tell me that everything you told me about the Fireflies is true, my man just
straight lie.
What's a big old lie?
Oh.
And here's the thing, she knows he's lying.
Oh, facts. Yeah.
And I think she wanted that answer from him still, though. I think that is the answer that she wanted from him.
She wanted that answer from him, I think, because it assured her that he made the decision that he made. The fact that he was willing to lie to her in that situation.
I
don't blame Joel at all. I get it, but, like, man, I can't stand the way he lied to her. That hurt my soul. So here's the thing.
That's a great ending to it, especially going into like another season. That's a great way to end it.
He told her what she wanted to hear.
Mm-hmm.
She knew it was a lie, and she knew, because she wouldn't have asked otherwise.
Right.
There would have been no reason for her to ask.
Mm-hmm.
So I think him lying to her was an assurance for her that he really was willing to do anything to protect her, to save her life, to keep her alive, including lie to her.
Mm-hmm.
It's that deep. I do care that much that like I'm gonna perpetuate this lie for as long as I live because I'm gonna protect you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And again, it is selfish. It's super selfish. Super duper selfish. Because even if it didn't work, it's the only opportunity they have that they know of. Period.
Mm-hmm.
After 20 plus years, right? Of dealing with it, of running from it. It was gonna be the only option they had. The reality of it is somebody like Marlene and the Fireflies having control over a cure like that was probably not going to be good anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing about it is they were calling it a cure, but it's not a cure. Because you can't take whatever it was they thought they were going to bottle and then take people who are infected and uninfect them and turn
Have
them
fun
back
with
into
that.
being humans.
Yeah.
Have fun with that one.
If anything, you may be able to give people a level of immunity, right? You may be able to get some sort of an antidote that if you administer it quickly enough, it would be like snake venom.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you administer it quickly enough,
it can reverse.
Mhm.
It'll
you can
stop the
stave
effects.
it off, or you
Mhm.
can survive it, or something along those lines. But like anything you give to somebody that is a virus, there's a likelihood you catch whatever they give you,
Right.
Mhm.
as opposed to it just being in your system and being able to fight it off, right? So, and it probably was going to take years of studying in labs
Yep.
and with equipment they don't have access to really understand why her mother getting bit at the moment of her giving birth was gonna. And then her mother lied. I was
Like, oh, yes.
It's like I got bit after I gave
I was
birth.
like, no.
I couldn't think about it. I had to stop myself for a second. I was like, wait. That doesn't seem right.
Yeah, she was still connected to the umbilical cord when you had that chunk bitten into your thigh.
No. I cut the umbilical cord, everything before it happened.
But low key, Marlene knew how she was immune. So like, why didn't y'all recreate the same circumstance if you're willing to kill this child? But morality is stop you from letting it bite another. Well, I mean, Marlene,
she didn't know. She was lied to. Right? We just said, but
she no. I mean, she knew. Yeah, I mean, she did know that she was immune. Once she had her trapped for days,
right?
You know what I mean, after the bite, and nothing happened. But it's also because she knew who Ellie was. That's the only reason why they didn't kill her right away.
Right.
But it does make me feel like she must have had some suspicion from the very beginning that she got lied to when Ellie's mother told her, I got bit after the baby, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
After I get, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like she knew, right? But then, that's what I'm saying. I don't think she believed her either. But the fact that Ellie didn't turn, like, as a baby, like, it's kind of like, what's she going to do? And the fact that she never turned, I feel like she did. She kind of had to know somewhere deep down inside that somehow she survived it. I don't know that you can just recreate that
scenario.
Mm-hmm. But you also, you don't have any reason. You got to think about how volatile things are, because she's born. This is basically peak pandemic. Like, it's just like, it's still super early. And
hey, that thing tracked her far.
Hey, listen,
we couldn't see him. We could hear the little clicker thing, but
listen, after she got in the house, closed the door. Okay, obviously, if the clicker saw her go in the house, sensed her or smelled whatever, go into the house, cool, whatever. But the fact that she'd gone, up the stairs, like hit a corner, went in another room and locked the door, closed the door, I guess, and locked it behind her, stuck the chair up underneath of it. I was like, either that clicker knew her, and like I don't know if those internal, I don't know.
I mean, I just think that I mean, again, like look at when they was in the mall, that one joint came in there and found them. Just like any noise, anything, and it's like she couldn't really stay quiet.
Probably the machine yelling fatality and stuff all the time.
Like, and if she had managed to stay quiet,
the fact that the baby came out while she was struggling,
that joint popped out. She didn't even realize it.
Yeah, that was an oh damn moment for me. When she did, I saw the baby. I was like, well, Ellie's here. Okay.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I want to know why her mother was out there in the streets. Why was she coming through the woods with all that baby?
With all that baby.
She was chucking it like.
No, that's a very valid point. That's a very valid point. Like, why is the pregnant woman out by herself?
From?
Yeah.
They had a whole house. She walked in that joint and was like, hey, y'all, it's me.
Yeah.
And nobody there.
Something tell me she was supposed to be sitting still while they went out to go do whatever they were doing. But she went to go out for whatever reason.
She act like Ellie act.
Exactly. Yep. She put an Ellie.
But pregnant. Why was you? Why was you, Slim?
You would have broke while you was running.
How crazy would it be if the jump that bit Ellie's mother was Ellie's father?
Oh, that'd be disgusting.
Wasn't surprised, but hey.
Maybe that's the only reason why it worked. Why she ended up immune because it was both of their DNA.
I canceled it out. Something.
No need for me to speculate. Listen, show ends abruptly. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Zaynab was upset because she was like, "Nah, I need to see them. Where's Tommy?
Nope.
I need to get back.
Perfect. I might find out this weekend because I'm pretty sure I'm about to buy the second one and just start it.
Part 2, bro.
I'm probably started.
Hey, dog, I'm gonna tell you right.
I went looked it up yesterday on the PlayStation Store. Like, all right, where you at?
Oh, it ain't on sale. They took if that joint went on sale at some point a long time ago, it ain't going on sale probably at least for another half a year.
I'm gonna go ahead and buy it. Just gotta go and buy it at this point. Yeah, just give them their money and call it a day.
I joined out in no. They don't be putting none
the first one is that one.
Yeah.
Took me 12 years to beat the first one. No, it ain't gonna be the second.
Yeah, bro.
It's not gonna be the second one.
You might as well just wait till the next season come out then.
Nah, you know what? I don't want.
They might do a part 2 remake.
We know they're gonna make a part 2. We still gonna be on the PS5.
I just get it now.
Maybe PS5 Pro or whatever they're gonna call it, and they will release.
I'm just gonna get it, throw it on easy like I did the first one. Just run through it for the story.
Yeah, you just run through it, deal with the story or whatever.
Yeah.
I know they fixed a lot of the mechanics, in it.
That's good.
Actually, make it a good game instead of just a good story. And that's
good.
I know what I need.
The first one was gameplay wise frustrating.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. It's not hot, bro. All right. Let's go scores. Jokes, overall score.
Like I said beforehand, I can't find anything wrong with this jump. This gets a 10 for me. Like I there's nothing I can. I'm sure we can find tooth comb something and nitpick, but as of now, this joint is a 10.
I can. Why was her mother in the woods?
Okay.
With all that baby in there. You got a baby in there. That was for you, Zane. You got a baby in there. That's it. 10 jokes. Sin?
I give it a 9. I thought it was great. I think as far as video game adaptations go,
the best.
I think that it's a 10. It's a 10 clearly as far as that goes. Everything else for me, it's a 9. It was really, really good. I probably won't watch it again though until.
You think this joint better than Rampage? You tripping now? You think this joint better than Doom?
You got a point there.
This joint, you think this joint better than Warcraft? You tripping? You think this joint better than Mortal Kombat?
All of them. All of them. Yes.
And Street Fighter. I'm just trying to keep my voice going high.
For sure. The Uncharted in there too. Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but no, like I said, think it's a 9. I probably won't watch it again until season 2 is getting ready to come out, just to sit, recap, and everything.
This
but
show gonna get
this was really good. This
slowly,
was really
maybe,
good.
but
I give it a 9. Here's what I want to know: are there award nominations in their future for this cast?
It should be.
It should be.
It should be. Yes. Yes. Supporting actor, best actor, all that type of stuff. They yeah. Yeah, they should. Yeah, the 2 leads body this the entire way through.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's
9.5 out of 10 because you refuse to give anything a 10.
I mean, that's cool. That's cool. Hey,
No,
does BTS get a 10? Anything?
Ooh.
No.
I'm not asking you, Sin.
You, Sin.
Oh,
I was like, this ain't.
Pops, I thought you talked to the people, sitting in the squares. You know what I mean?
No, that was directed at one individual, only.
You can already have the chat fire you up. These rectangles, bro. You ain't talking to the guys in the rhombuses.
Oh, see? What is that? A number for each individual member that adds up to 100? Is that what we're getting to?
Good one, Jokes.
Not a 10. Yeah, all right.
Oh, please.
All right. Go ahead, give Last of Us an 11 then. Yeah, I think this joint is a 9. I'm not positive. I mean, there are things that I think I have enjoyed more in terms of TV shows is like over time. Like I've seen a lot of stuff, but and again, I think that a lot of what allows this to get away with so much of what it gets away with is that those conversations they were having after each show, like saying like, "This is what we did. This is how we adapted this," kind of giving you that insight.
You haven't seen it, but I gotta go to YouTube and check that out.
I haven't seen them on. I don't know if they're on YouTube.
I don't think they are.
I'm sure I haven't seen them on YouTube.
Probably ripped them, but I don't think they've officially put in there though.
But yeah, I just I can't take anything away from what they have done. There are some slight things I think maybe could have been handled differently, but I think that in terms of like, I mean, I love the music. I mean, it's the music out of the game, but it fits the show so well. Like the intro just works so well. I'm eager to see where it goes. In terms of them doing another joint. I did see an article today that Neil Druckmann said the only way that they would recast Bella Ramsey is if she just didn't want to do it. If she just was like, I don't want to do it. That's the only way they would recast her, which I think is dope and it's saying something.
Yeah, she bodied that.
Yeah, she really did.
Yeah,
she really did, and I'm here for it. So
facts.
All right, a 9, a 9, and a 10, 9.5 from Zaina. We're gonna wrap this episode of Spoiler Boys up. There's supposed to be an episode for season 2 of Mandalorian. I mean, season 3, episode 2 of Mandalorian up, but maybe Jokes did it, maybe he didn't.
Nah, maybe he didn't after that last episode and fell asleep and yeah.
So maybe there'll be another one next Monday like they're supposed to be, but send your hate mail to Jokes. That's new Joker .loadingsnacks@gmail.com. New Joker 89 on Instagram, Twitter.
I'm gonna put all your socials out.
And Christopher Craig Stewart on Facebook.
no hashtag justice for jokes anyway.
Nope. All right, y'all. We greatly appreciate y'all hanging out, tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow with Loading Snacks Weekly with special guest Mari. Frosty Bridges is going to be on the show.
Frosty Bridges.
Yes.
Man. hey, you gotta do what gotta be done. You know what I mean? The whole government. The whole government. The government. The government. Jeez. Yeah. So again, thank y'all for hanging out with us. This has been your episode of Spoiler Boys for The Last of Us, the entire first season. Positive that second season is coming.
Yeah.
Love to hear more of your thoughts. Feel free to comment. Listen to the audio when the audio pops up. Facts.
Yeah, you get your government call, somebody in trouble.
Get out the way.
Christopher Craig Stewart.
That means it's probably a hand coming from the background, right through that,
right up from the back of that neck,
right to the back of that neck.
Right on the keyboard.
Hey, dog. Anytime when it looks like Joe sneezed, but he didn't.
That's what it was.
That was one of them Tatiana slaps to the back of the head. All right, so for myself, Gage, for Jokes, and for Sin. Again, we appreciate y'all tuning in. We're out. Toodles and loose.
Loading snacks.